Session of Champions Office Hours featuring how to set up a dealer. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us. We have a jam-packed session for you. Just a few things before we get started. We'll open it up for questions at the end, like always, but if you have something you need to ask before then, please feel free to unmute yourself, raise your hand. You can put a question in the chat. There are a lot of steps to set up a dealer or contractor, and we understand that this is not an everyday process. So please feel free to go back, use this video as reference, and review. We are recording this. And you are always more than welcome to reach out to your RAM or to me, and we would be happy to go through the process with you. I am fortunate to have a co-host with me today, so please join me in welcoming Tony Haynes, champion Florida Ram, and we'll get started.
Thank you, Robin.
Of course.
And really appreciate you doing this, Robin, because I think that it is there, to your good point, there's a lot of moving parts to registering a dealer, and so but it's tremendously important to add dealers and to register dealers every year. And so we'll go through the whole process and answer any questions that you might have during this.
All right, so I am starting in Solution Navigator. That's where we will be doing the whole process. There are 3 different areas that we need to set up the same dealer. So let's just jump into the first area, which is going to be warranty. And really, you'll want to set people up under warranty so that they can do warranty things with the units. So I just went under warranty from the top, under Ductus Systems warranty. And don't worry if you don't have the same options that I have, but you should have dealer search and registration, which that's what I'm going to click on. And then from here, I'm just going to go to register a dealer. And for the dealer ID, you can see my drop downs there. Typically, this would be your win zone number for that dealer or contractor. And I'm going to do mom and dad's. I'm going to be the contact. The nice thing, and we're choosing all of the brands here. The nice thing about this is if you forget a field, it won't let you go on. And I'm just using the factory address.
Robin, do you want to make a comment about the distributor email and the distributor for claims and contracts?
Yes, thank you. So I put in the distributor email. That's going to be for claims. And then there's another field for distributor email, and that's contracts. So that's actually going to be your email versus the dealer. So thank you.
And why is that?
Because they will be the ones to get the communications and information.
Yeah, so if the dealer files a claim, as an example, a warranty claim, then the distributor, an individual within the distributor, will get, once that claim comes through, you'll get it and you'll approve it and send it on to us for processing. Same with a extended warranty. That's what we mean by contracts. So if the dealer purchases a comfort plan, then you'll get it. Whoever in your organization is on this email, you'll get it for approval. You make sure it looks okay, and then you send it on to us. You actually put a purchase order with the contract.
So this is my dealer. So we've added the address information, contact information. Now we're at warranty plan information. And this is just the standard rate requested. I'm just going to put in $100. Do you want to speak to that, Tony?
Yeah, so I would say that at least in the state of Florida, the average is about $100 for to be paid on a labor claim for warranty. That'd be for, let's say it's DOA, and there's some labor paid. You can request a change in that every year. And so I'd encourage you to do that. And you send that to UPG Warranty by dealer. And so you'll need to put the dealer number and so forth on there.
Okay. And we are going to make this an extended warranty dealer, which will pop open this.
Robin, I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
When we're doing this setup, is this for CCEs only, or is this for anyone that's purchasing Champion?
Anyone that's purchasing Champion. Great question. So yeah, base rate Champion or CCE, you'll need to register them.
Yeah, and that really is a good question because
Mm-hmm.
they don't necessarily have to be a dealer. You may process warranty for customers that have sold Champion at one time, or possibly sell one of our other brands, and they would be registered on here. So they don't necessarily have to be a registered Champion dealer to be registered for warranty.
Correct. Which is why we're starting with warranty. One of the reasons. So I popped open extended warranty rate, tax ID number. I'm going to review and submit again. If you're missing a field, it will definitely let you know. Address validation. I'm going to go with what they recommend. And now it just gives us a review of the information that we've put in about our dealer and the warranty plan information.
So before we leave that, Robin, sorry to interrupt, that's okay.
That's okay.
Sorry to interrupt, but I see there's several from Florida on, and Lori German, I see that you're on from Tampa, and Dustin is on from Fort Walton Beach, and Dustin, you guys are just kind of coming on board and getting familiar with this. In the state of Florida, there's a particular license that you have to have for the extended warranties, and so there's some additional information that has to be placed in there that you'll have to collect from the dealer, and so anyone from Florida, when you if you're not familiar with that process, we won't go into it on this call, but just get with us and we can help you with that.
We had a question too. How do they establish labor rates for their state or region?
Sure. So I would ask your dealers, what's your labor, your hourly rate? And some of the things you get into, though, if a dealer is on flat rate, and many of them are, and I will say that typically the hourly rate is less than maybe what a dealer's hourly rate is that's on flat rate. So I think my recommendation is you just kind of take a average of your dealers and what their hourly rate is. But I think that right now it's probably an average of about $100 an hour is I think what we're paying.
Okay.
So it looks like that one was asked. The ask was 100. It was approved at 90. You can appeal that if you wish, and you would do it through the UPG warranty email and give the dealer number and all.
All right, so I'm just going to hit home. And that is part 1 complete. We set our dealer up under warranty. So now I'm just going to go back to the main Solution Navigator page. And under your account here on the right side in the upper right hand, We're going to drop this down and we're going to go to account administration. The second part of our setup is actually setting them up in Solution Navigator. And if you get to this page and the options don't look right or the screen doesn't look right, just hit refresh. That's kind of a common thing that happens with Solution Navigator. It could be on any screen. I'm going to go to sub accounts here. And then I'm going to go to add sub account. So when we popped into account administration, we went to sub accounts, and now we're going to add our sub account, our dealer or contractor. So this is going to be their name in Navigator. We're going to leave these fields blank. We can't enter anything in. I'm not going to put in the dealer number. We could put in their phone number. If they have a website, that would be handy there. Under selection customer type, you want to put sales influencers. And then it takes us to billing and shipping address.
There's a checkbox there. If the contractor is NATE certified, you'll want to check that box and find out from them, because we will pay, Johnson Controls pays at a higher labor rate. I think it's $10 an hour more that the dealer gets if they're NATE certified. So you'll want to gather that information from them.
And I'm just kind of going through this kind of fast. I'm going to click that the shipping address is same as the billing address. If it's different, of course, you would fill that out differently. And we're going to actually save this information.
Good.
And that's the completion of the overview section of the sub account setup for your contractor or dealer. You have these other fields, which we'll go ahead and go through. These are important. And while you're in here, I would just finish this setup. And really, and again, if you don't have all of the selections here, that's okay. You just want to make sure that under ducted systems that you get all of the brands there. So once I have my brands assigned there, I'm going to hit save. Lets us know we have a success banner there. We're going to skip pricing. Account users, this is where you'll actually put in the person. So we can add a new user. Just going to add myself for demonstration purposes. Robinette dealer.
And really, we recommend that you sign up, register multiple users within a company, because you know, it can even be field personnel, because it gives them access to the portal for training, for parts lookup, for all those things. And so the more people that you sign up and train within a dealership, the more of that, you know, that they can do. You can train them up to do that on their own, parts lookups and things like that, and file their own warranties and everything.
And just a little kind of tip on this, on the address, you have to actually put in the country for it to pop open the state. So kind of a little backwards, you know, normally you go street, city, state, and then country, but this is street, city, country, then it'll pop open the state for you. So I've added Robin. And again, like Tony said, it's helpful to have whoever is within that organization added, because then they'll actually have access. Permission groups. Don't be afraid if you open this up and you don't have all of the options that I have. I have a different account, so it gives me everything. But really, we want to concentrate on giving our dealers maybe not limited access, but really the most important access that they need. And one of those is CF dealers. Some of these labels are a little cryptic. All that CF means is Channel Fusion, which is our third-party vendor that we work with. So that gives them access to dealer things through marketing. I also want to choose configure. I want dealer UPA marketing training access.
So Robin, configure, isn't that the access in Selection Navigator?
Yes.
Yes, that gives you, that can give the dealer access to Selection Navigator. So they can come up with they can build a commercial unit, they can, but it would be, the pricing would be manufacturer's list price, so you don't need to worry about that.
Right. And I don't worry about the order or pricing or any of that. The only other area I would give them is warranty access. So we want to give them warranty, training, configure, and then the dealers.
Robin, should they have marketing access?
They should have marketing access through CF dealers. You can give them
Okay.
marketing access. I don't see any harm in that. I'm just, if in case you don't have that option, you should have at least those 4 options that that I covered there. CF dealers, configure, dealer marketing training access, and then warranty access. So I'm going to save that. And now I'm going to look up my account because I need to go back in. So under overview, what you're going to do to take the last step is register for marketing. So you will click this link. And while that is popping up for me, I have to jump through a couple of hoops. Are there any questions so far? Not all dealers get extended warranty, correct? How do we know to set them up with it?
Well, that's entirely up to you. Certainly the dealers that want to take advantage of our promotional extended warranty, they'll want to be signed up for that. But if it's a contractor that's not a Champion dealer, that maybe you're just processing warranty claims for, and and you don't want to sell them extended warranties, but it's entirely up to you, the distributor. You may want to check that box. Maybe you're selling them Guardian or something if they're not a Champion dealer. And so you would want them to be able to buy extended warranties for that. So, or even commercial. So we have commercial extended warranties. So if you're selling a contractor commercial, and you would want to make those warranties available to them.
Do they have the option to add a new user? Did we answer this or is this an additional, Alex?
I don't think we answered that. So you could add multiple users. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Getting
to this next screen.
And Tony and Robin, a key point of adding users, to your point, Tony, about them being able to get into Navigator and grab information. They also then they need to be registered so they can have that access to that DS app. Solutions app.
Yes, DS
Right, good
Solutions
point.
app, yes.
Yep.
So when you hit the link, it takes you straight to here. So under marketing dashboard, and it transfers kind of everything over, but we have to take it one step, the last step, to set up our dealer and contractor. So under dealer registration, and this it will take you to another set of tiles. Disregard this screen. Nope. There we go. Thank you guys for your patience. There we go. Yay. Okay, so it takes you to that screen. And then once you click into dealer registration, then it gives you these options for tiles. So we're going to go under register a new dealer. And really the simple way to maybe enhance an existing dealer from the regular champion level to CCE, you would just click this renew an existing dealer. And also if you wanted to re-enroll them, which this is the time of year for that, right, Tony?
So it's getting close. So normally dealer registrations for the coming year open October 1st. And so you will want to re-register every dealer every year. And to Robin's point, maybe they'll go up a level. Maybe they'll go from champion to CCE. And it looks like we have a feature now, auto renew multiple registrations. And I think that's something that's new. But you have from October through, I think it's through February to renew dealers. So if you don't renew a dealer by February, they actually fall off and you'll have to re-register them totally. The other thing about that is they become fair game to any of the other brands. So very important that you re-register every dealer every year.
So I'm just going to register a new dealer. And it asks us, this is fortunately the easiest part of this whole process. It's very straightforward. Which brand are you doing registration for? Champion. Screens are a little laggy, and we are going to go with Champion because I do not want to charge this distributor on this account. But this is where you would choose base level Champion or CCE. And now this gives us, the whole list of dealers who would we like to register. So I put in mom, and here's mom and dad's. If we had not set them up in warranty and in Solution Navigator, they wouldn't have shown up here. So that's why it's important to do this step last so that they actually show up on the list. So I'm going to select mom and dad's, and I'm going to hit next. And now it's asking, are there any current programs in which you wish to participate? And honestly, I would think more is better, right, Tony?
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing that, maybe if a dealer has said that they don't do commercial, then maybe they wouldn't want to be on the dealer locator as commercial, something like that.
Right.
And see, it also took off the commercial financing.
Yep. I took off commercial
Yeah.
financing.
Yep.
Pretty easy. All right, now we get to review the dealer locator information. And what this does is this information kind of transfers over to the dealer locator so that when customers are looking up dealers, they get this information. So let's say mom and dad's has 10 years of service, they're NATE certified, they offer financing, they offer parts and service. We're going to put in the business email, their working hours, either open 7 to 6 p.m., Saturday, maybe 8 to 2, and we're closed Sunday. Time zone. You'll want to put in their webpage. If they have a webpage, that would be really good here. If they have a financing link, even better. It adds that into the dealer locator information. You are correct, Mario. He says, good point for setting them up in marketing as the last step, as many times in my case, they never showed up when trying to register when the other two were not inputted. So yeah, kind
Yeah,
of that
thank you for that.
stand on one leg, wave. So here's our purchase order, even though we're setting them up for base champion level. So just test PO there. And now we're actually going to dive into financials and kind of the previous equipment purchases.
Yeah, and there's sometimes some confusion on this. So what the question that's being asked is, what was the contractor's total spend on equipment in the prior year? And so we can figure out how much equipment does this contractor buy? And this information is collected, and then we can run a report on it. And from that, you go to the next. Let's say that the dealer buys 500,000 in equipment, and then he's buying maybe 250,000 in Champion. And then, so it's a great time to sit down with the dealer if he's an existing dealer, and look for opportunities where we can grow the business, because we know that there's another, in this case, there's another $300,000 worth of business to be gotten from that contractor. And the easiest way to grow is with existing dealers, penetration of existing dealers versus going and getting new dealers. So maybe you can take share from a competitor.
So what do we want to put their total champion equipment purchase commitment?
Oh, let's say it's going to be 350 this year. We're starting to eat away at the competition.
Okay.
Yeah, Mario also mentioned about the CCE dealers. If we were signing this dealer up as a CCE dealer, we would need to show the website, and so they need to have a website or get a website, and they need to have 25. They need to have 25 Google reviews or more, a minimum of 25, or get to that in a period of time, work out a plan to get them there. And they have to have a Google review rating of 4 or better to be CCE.
Yes. So the next step, and the nice thing, I'm not showing the whole screen here, but it gives you kind of where you're at in the status of this setup. So now we're at the business part, what brands they carry and their business mix. So what did we say, Tony? They carried carrier for their primary
Maybe they're a
brand.
carrier dealer. Yep.
And
Champion's their second line.
maybe,
Maybe they're selling a little bit of Goodman.
yeah. So now let's take a look at their business mix.
Yeah, so maybe they're 75% residential replacement. And maybe they do, a few new homes, maybe 5%. And then the rest to be commercial, so 20% commercial.
Okay. There we go. So now we're on the contact information, review territory manager and contact information. This is going to be the distributor that your contractor or dealer is set up under. So again, thanks to Taylor Leggett and Douglasville Winair for letting me use their account to demonstrate this. But this gives us the level and tier that they're at. We can go ahead and put in, oh, this is our territory manager, right? Let's do Tony. There's our address. In case they have a different address, you can change it here. Going to next. And now we get to review our confirmation information, basically that you've put in personal information, you've given personal information to Johnson Controls, and that you've obtained consent from that dealer or contractor to do so, and to allow them to be found through the dealer locator.
Robin, we have a question from Alex. Who sets up the level tier and how is that determined? So Alex, do you mean Champion versus the CCE?
I think what it did was it took our base Champion level, and then the $350,000 is what we projected them to do for 2024 for Champion purchases. So it kind of assigned them the tier Champion base level, and then added in that $350,000 that we projected.
Okay.
Yeah, great question. So this is just a review. Does everything look correct? It's nice because it gives you the option to go back and make any adjustments that you need to make. And this is the best part. Good to go. I mean, what a better, finishing button, but good to go. That's all there is to it. So those are the three areas. And again, just to review, you'll start with warranty, under ducted systems, warranty. You'll get them set up kind of that way. Then you'll go to Solution Navigator because we want their information inputted into Solution Navigator along with their users and their permissions. And I know we had a question about permissions earlier. Different accesses for CCE dealers. Basically, they all would have the same access through Solution Navigator. It's what is offered to them as a CCE dealer that is different than the base level Champion, and that's probably for another session. But so the user permissions a dealer should have is the CF dealer, which gives them that marketing dealer access, configure so that they can go in and configure product. And then we want to give them the dealer UPA marketing training access so that they actually have access to look at the trainings and that sort of thing. And then finally, warranty, because we want them to have warranty permissions through Solution Navigator. Keep them coming. Any other questions? I know that was a lot in a very short amount of time. And we are more than happy to go through the process with you. Again, we know it's not an everyday process. So it's, you know, I had to practice myself. I have home builders who are enrolled in the HPP. Do we enroll them the same?
So the home builder program, it's contained within the marketing center, and so that's where you'll register them. And I don't believe that home builders, you could give them access, I guess, to Solution Navigator, but typically, if you're registering them for a rebate program, you're going to do that in the marketing center. Dave, you've worked with some of those programs. Any feedback there?
I think the question was, did they have how to register them on the HPP program?
I have home builders who are enrolled in the HPP program. Do we enroll them the same?
Yeah, who is that? Why don't they
Good morning.
go ahead
Good
and ask
morning.
the question?
This is Alex. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Alex.
Thank you for this session. Yes, I've got a group of 10 home builders that we brought on board. And a lot of times what they want to do is they want to have the ability to go in there and use the configure settings so that they can pull up the systems and as well as AHRI certificate numbers through that. Am I able to give them that access? So what they do is they like to create a little binder, a folder that they give they give to their homeowner, so that the homeowner knows what equipment was installed, the features of the equipment, and all that stuff. People are becoming just so much more aware of what they're purchasing that they're asking for that information. So what I do is I literally create one for each one of them systems. And so if I have the ability to give them that access, I can show them how to use it so that they are always having something fresh to present.
I would think you could set them up. I would, you know,
absolutely.
set them
Yeah,
up under the champion base level, you know, so you don't get charged because they're home builders versus contractor dealers. But absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like, Alex, what are you actually generating, like a submittal for that system or systems?
That is correct. That is correct.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Damn. I'd like to get some of your dealers that spread out across the US to do that. That'd be great.
Well, I'm actually
you really
pushing
wouldn't need to. You really wouldn't need to set them up as a dealer, though. You could set them up in Solution Navigator as a user, and then give them access to configure. Give them access to the dealer level of the you know, where they can do a quote without, you know, it doesn't have pricing, but it would have the ability to put out submittals and match up systems and do all that kind of stuff. That's maybe the best thing to do.
Well, I actually already create some cheat sheets with all the systems on there, along with an AHRI certificate. However, I'd like to take it a little bit further and have them create the actual submittal so that the credibility and the professionalism is there when they present their homeowners with the packet of all the stuff that they purchased. So it is a big purchase. So I think that it's very important to have that part of the
Sure.
file.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great.
I have another question. Is there a form list of all information that will be needed to gather to enter into Solution Navigator that we can download so that we can gather all the information before signing on to Solution Navigator? So if I'm understanding that question right, is there a way to have all the information prepared and organized before you start the process? Is that how I'm understanding? Yeah. There's not currently, but I'm gonna actually put that down because that's a really great idea because I definitely had to do that to do this presentation. So yeah, I can come up with something that we can outline and then you can have all the information ready to go once you start. So yeah.
Well, there is a form for dealer registration though in the marketing center. And so you can gather all that information that Robin just went through. And you also, you go through that with the dealer, all the programs and all of that, and you actually have the dealer sign it. So you can gather all that information in that dealer sign up form, and it's in the marketing. It's in the marketing library under dealer contractor success programs is where that is.
And I can include that in the recap email that I send out.
Perfect.
And you said it was dealer.
It's a dealer registration form, and it's in the it's in the dealer success programs.
Okay. Any other questions? These are great.
Thank you. Mine were answered.
Okay. Okay. Well, big thanks once again to Tony for co-hosting and Dave for all the great information. The recording of this meeting will be made available on that QR code here shortly, along with all of the other previous Champion Office Hours sessions. I want to thank everybody again for taking the time to join us. Please reach out if you think of any questions or concerns later. If you get through it and let us know. We'll help you out. Also, if you have suggestions or recommendations for future office hours sessions, let us know that too. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Robin.